Hi guys, welcome to the Fourth Moment Weekly Roundup. And as usual, this is where you get your weekly dose of local football action. And with me, Coach Andrew Pequeno. Andrew, how are you?
Fine, thanks. And you, Shamiel?
I'm all right, thank you. We're recording on a day that's nice and wet, nice and rainy, but beautiful weather nonetheless.
Yeah, it's getting cooler now. I've noticed that the training's in the evening. It's getting a lot cooler. I have to bring out the jacket now.
Yeah.
So it's nice. It means that football season, LFA season is on the brink of starting. So it's brilliant.
Yeah, guys, and as usual, just don't forget, go to our YouTube channel to like and subscribe. And also, if you're watching on Facebook, give us some comments wherever. And tell us what you think of the show. Just before we start, I want to say thanks to all the guys that have been commenting. We've been getting some WhatsApp messages and some invites. We want to say thanks for that. That's great news for us.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, it's good. Some exciting things coming up.
Yeah, I mean, please comment on Facebook, comment on the show. If there are any questions you want to ask or anything football related you'd like us to highlight on the show, please feel free to comment on our Facebook page.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to jump right into it. ABC Motsepe. Hey, we're going to do ABC first?
Yeah, let's do ABC first.
Right, looking at some of the results this weekend, as usual. What a great weekend of local football. Gee whiz. Ikapa Sporting and Cape Town Spurs. Cape Town Spurs getting that much needed win there over Ikapa.
Yeah, Shamiel, I did say last week, I think Coach Roger also intimated that Spurs, if they get it together and they stay composed, they can beat any team. Yeah. And they did it last week. Ikapa at home, it's always tough to beat. It's a big result for Cape Town Spurs. Yeah, they needed that.
Definitely needed that. Other result there, Zizwe now back in it, beating Pequeno 1-0. That match played away.
Yeah, listen, Zizwe, we sort of thought, well, if they one loss away from being out of it, they're now back in it. Yeah. They're only 4 points behind with the game in hand. It's when we get to the logs later, it's tight in both streams.
Yeah, testament to how tough this league is. And then City Kings and beating Marty's 3-2. That's a good win for City Kings there.
It's a good win for City Kings. Yeah. I think City Kings are maybe 1 or 2 wins away from cementing their status for next season. And they've actually done very, very well. And to win at home, they've been struggling to get results at home. Yeah. They've got a lot of good results away from home, so it's good for them.
Yeah. And then Outbay losing there against Grassy Park 3-2. That's a very good result for GP there, Coach Kirk and the guys.
Yeah, Houtbay were, at one point it looked like Houtbay were going to start pulling away from everybody. Yeah. They've had 2 bad results in their last 3 games. And at home against Grassy Park. Yeah. Listen, Grassy Park, Coach Kirkley's come in there. He's changed things. They've got a new system of playing. They've actually improved a hell of a lot. Yeah. Even Grassy Park, they're 4 points behind. Yeah. Anything can still happen in this league. Yeah. So, the top 5, in my opinion, still have a chance in that stream to get to and win it. And Grassy Park have done very, very well. Yeah. And, this weekend, they got a home game, which we'll look at. But, I'm very impressed with them.
And talking about that home game is against City Kings. So that's going to be a tough job for them.
Yeah, especially City Kings' away record. They set up very well. Yeah. But listen, Grassy Park, there might be a bit of momentum going there. Let's see how this weekend goes, because there's some big games this weekend.
Yeah, and then we've got a Cape Town Spurs versus Santos match happening this week, also on Friday. That's going to be sort of a tough game.
Yeah, listen, Spurs at home, Santos away from home. Santos, been, in my opinion, the most consistent team in the stream. So it's going to be very good. I think, it's going to be a big crowd Friday night at Spurs.
Yeah, at the Kamfa.
So, listen, I don't want to call that, but maybe I would go with a draw.
Yeah, I was going to say it should be a tight game, because also knowing the fact, we spoke to Coach Roger last week, and he was giving much respect to Cape Town Spurs. So he's fully aware of the ability.
And you must remember, Santos come off a bye week, so it might be a bit fresher. But with games being 1 game a week, there's not a lot of fatigue problems or anything like that. Yeah. So it's going to be tight. I reckon it could be a draw.
Yeah. And then there's also that, just another thing. It's again that Santos training on grass, going to a turf now.
Correct.
Those surfaces we've spoken about it before.
Yeah, sometimes it's a great leveler.
Yeah. Okay, and then Marty's hosting Ikapa Sporting. That's also sort of a tough one there, after the loss of both teams that had lost the past week.
Yeah, listen, and like we mentioned last week, Marty's are tough to beat at home. Yeah. And Ikapa also train on turf, going to grass field. Yeah. Ikapa need a result this weekend. If they don't get a result this weekend, they're going to start tailing off for their chances of winning the stream. So they need to win this weekend.
And then last one there is Zizwe and Houtbay. That's
a game of the weekend. Listen, Zizwe 4 points behind Houtbay. Zizwe at home. If Zizwe win, they're right up there. Yeah. They're already sort of on the fringes, leaning a result or two. But destiny's in Zizwe's hands. They've still got to play Hartbeij. They've still got to play Santos.
Okay.
They've all got to play each other. So now we're getting to the stage, with 5-6 games to go. It's getting to the point now where home wins are vital.
Very important, yeah. And just looking at the log there, so Zizwe and Houtbeij facing each other this weekend. Houtbeij's in first spot with 21 points, and Zizwe in third with 17 points. So not a big difference.
And Zizwe got a game in hand. So yes, they win the game in hand, and they're only 1 point behind Houtbeij effectively.
Yeah.
So it's a big game. If Houtbeij win, Zizwe will then, will be difficult for them to win it.
Yeah.
If Zizwe win, sure, throws everybody back into the equation.
And then the sandwich between the two of them is Santos on 20 points. Also definitely front runners to take the title of this.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then fourth spot, the Kapa, and in fifth spot, Grassy Park. And it just shows you what a win or two can do just to push you up the log.
Yeah, if you win 2 or 3 games in a row and you're in the top 5 or 6, you all of a sudden you're second or third and you're in contention again.
Yeah. Then looking at Stream B there, this is your stream, Andrew. I know you had a very exciting weekend. We're going to look at that result first there. So FN Rangers and Overpark 2-1. Tough loss there. Tight game. I heard it was a tight game.
Yeah, it was very tight, very tactical battle. Nice crowd, sure. It was a big crowd, which was very nice for a local game. Us as coaches, just gives people insight when the game starts. I don't notice the crowd. Yeah. You're noticing what's happening on the field and looking and thinking of how to change things tactically or any changes. So you don't really notice the crowd. And I think at one point there was a bad injury on the FN player with about 10 minutes before halftime.
Okay.
And then I looked around and I thought, geez, where do those people come from? And it's good for local football and it's a derby, so it was a nice game. Listen, FN took their chances. Our goalkeeper, Luther Jacobs, had an outstanding game. He saved a penalty, made 2 or 3 other outstanding saves. We just weren't clinical enough in the last third. Our tactics, I thought what we wanted to do, we did. We just weren't clinical at the end of the day. Yeah. And against a team like FN, top team, they won the stream last year. They lost in the playoff final against Zizwe last year. They're very structured, very compact, very good team. And listen, at the end of the day, we were on the other side of the result. We've picked up 2 points out of 12 in our last 4 games, which is not great.
Yeah.
But when you look at the log, we're not totally out of it yet. It's we basically got to win all our games from here on in to have a chance.
Okay. Yeah.
But listen, it's tough. It's tough to go to FN, but they're all going to play each other. Yeah. Everyone's got to play each other.
But those are the games you want to play also. You want to play against the tough games. So
as a player and as a coach, you always want to compare yourself to the best. Let's say. And I did tell my players in the changing room before the game, these are the kind of games you tell your children about, you did this or whatever. Those are the games you remember, man. So go out there and make memories. Enjoy it. And the guys, listen, I can't fault my players. They gave 100%. So that's all that you want as a coach.
And we want to say big thanks there to our photographer, Ricardo Snyman, for taking some shots there.
Beautiful shots. Especially me carrying a cooler box.
I saw that one, because you keep telling everybody to bring the cooler box.
Yeah, exactly. So I bought my own.
Okay, looking at the other results there, Young Bafana and Battalions. Young Bafana, Coach Ashraf doing well there. We need to get him on the show again. 2-1 win against Battalions. Yeah,
since Coach Ashraf has come on board, they've won 3 and drawn 1 of their 4 games that he's been in charge. He's doing an excellent job there. They're still top of the log. Everybody, not saying everybody, some people would have thought that they would have started coming back to the pack. But they're keeping ahead. Yeah. This weekend they got a game away from home, and then they start hitting the FN Rangers, Clearwood, and the Ubuntu games. Yeah. But listen, big ups to him. They're building momentum. It's always nice to build momentum.
Yeah.
And they're top.
Good. And then Ubuntu, Coach Morris, they good win there against Okania 3-2. Sure. That's an Ocean. It's actually tighter than what I thought, being there.
I heard it was a very exciting game. Okay. There were a couple of penalties involved, and disallowed penalty, and a whole lot of stuff. So, listen, at the end of the day, you just got to get the result. Yeah. At this stage of the season, you've got 5 games left. As long as you score 1 more goal than the opponent, that's the most important thing. Yeah.
Goals wins game. And then obviously Ubuntu still in the run there for...
Oh, yes, very much so. They're second, yeah.
And then Clearwood, Coach Dylan Dean there against Wanderers, beating them 6-0 at home.
Yeah, that was expected. I think Wanderers are struggling. I think they, since January, since we've come back, the results have not gone their way. They've still got hope. I mean, they're not out of it from a relegation point of view. They're only 3 points behind Royal Blues, and the goal difference is not that much difference. I think that the vital games for Wanderers is the Royal Blues or Kanya games that they have left.
Yeah.
So they got Royal Blues at home and they've got Ukanya at home. So I think that's going to be the games where Wanderers, that they must target to try and get at least, they need the 6 points.
Definitely. And then looking at the fixtures coming up for this week in Stream B is Okanya United versus Clearwood. That's happening at Roykrans. So
yeah, that'll be a tight
I think it's going to be a tough game. We don't have to discount Okanya. They are a side that play well. So
definitely not.
Yeah, and then Wanderers hosting Young Bafana. That's at Langa at home.
Yeah, I think Young Bafana might have a few more guns there to beat them. Yeah,
more firing power. Nova Park against Royal Blues.
Yeah, listen, I hope the jet lag traveling from Beaufort affects them coming to us. Listen, we know what we have to do. We have to get 3 points. So, we're going to be going all out now to get 3 points and playing attacking like we usually do. But it's going to be a tough one. Listen, they beat FN. They had a bye last weekend. They beat FN the game before. So it's not going to be an easy game. We're not underestimating them at all.
I think look at for Nova Park, you should have a slight upper hand. I mean, you're playing at home on your turf. Yeah. It's a different size to the one they're playing.
Yeah, so, and the travel factor is important. When we travel to them, that 5 hours, in the van, it's important that it does actually take something out of you. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Listen, like I said, we know we know our field and our conditions, and we're just going to exploit it. Yeah.
And then Battalions hosting FN Rangers. So we've got that game scheduled at 5, but it might be at 3 p.m.
Yeah, we're still waiting for confirmation. It might be moved to 3 p.m. at Pequeno. Listen, that's going to be a tight one. I think Coach Mike is now back. He's back in town. He's now at Battalions. I'm sure he's trying to work out a plan against Coach Sachi. But listen, Battalions, like we always say, going to Paul is difficult. But I still think FN will have the edge.
Yeah. Also, I mean, we know that win against you guys meant a lot to them. So that's obviously a confidence boost.
Yeah, listen, if FN had dropped points against us, that would have been a different story. Now they got the momentum now back again. Yeah.
Looking at the log, and Ubuntu still top of the log there. 23 points. Young Bafana second, 22 points. Very tight. FN Rangers 20 points. And then Nova Park 18 points. And the top 5 is concluded by Battalions with 14 points. So still the top 4 sort of in the mix there.
We can't discount Clearwood. They got 2 games in hand.
Of course,
the games in hand, or I think it's against Wanderers and Okanya. So they win those. The Clearwood is on 18 points, same points as Hanover Park. So then they're also back in it. It's everybody's playing everybody. The next 3 to 4 weeks, everybody plays everybody. Are still of the opinion in both streams is going to go to last games of the season. Yeah,
definitely. And also looking at who's playing each other, the top guys are playing the upper, and then the bottom guys are playing each other. Yeah. So everybody's it's in their own hands.
Everything is to play for. There's still relegation that must be sorted out, promotion, teams mid-table. They're trying to get as high as they can. Like I said, if you win 2 or 3 games, all of a sudden the teams above you drop points. Yeah. So every game is going to be a fight. Nobody's going to lie down anymore. In a full season, you might get to a point where teams are safe and they say, okay, we're safe. We can secure our status. We're mid-table. We can take it easy. It's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
The wonders of a 2-stream league is that every game is important.
Yeah. Right, and then that basically concludes the ABC Motsepe for this past weekend. Jumping into the 3rd division. So third division, always excited about the 3rd division. A lot of games being played.
Double headers again.
Stuff, yeah, definitely. So looking at some of the results there, Cape Moyo, Saxon Rovers, 1-0 draw. I think that's a fair result there, especially for both teams. And then here's the one, OV doing it this weekend, winning 3-0 against Goal 50. That was their first match that they played over the weekend. Some of the other results there, Greenwood 4-3 against Matroos.
Sure.
Jamestown and Jomo Power was 2-2 draw. Silver Spurs getting 1 over Milano there. I think, is that the second match they played against each other? I think.
Yeah, that's the second round now. Yeah.
And then Trin is there, our log lead. Oh, not our log leaders, but our log contenders. 5-2 over Woodlands.
Yeah, I think, Saxon Rovers, they picked up 4 points over the weekend. If we look towards the bottom of the table, that boosted them a bit.
Yeah.
I think Ocean View had a big weekend. They got 6 points.
6 points,
big weekend for OV. OV's now only 3 points behind the 3rd bottom team. And that, to me, that 3rd bottom team is also in trouble when we look at the ABC logs.
Motsepe,
and, it's a big, Ocean View's back. I mean, we were saying, getting to the point where they needed to get points.
Must win.
I think they've got 9 points in the last 3 games. And this weekend, they're playing Woodlands, and that's going to be a big game because Woodlands have been also dragged into that. They're only 4 points above Ocean View. And if Ocean View beat Woodlands away, it's going to be a lot of teams being dragged down.
And another team sort of being dragged down, the way you're saying it, is Milano, Cape Town United. And what a result, 5-4, 9 games against Premier.
Yeah, listen,
9 goals.
Yeah, no.
5-4 against
Premier team. If you want to watch games where there's goals, it's always watch Premier. I think they've had 5-4s, 3-2s, 4-4s. You know, it's big results. But listen, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
That was a good result for Premier. Milano,
tough.
JL Zwane, Cape Town United. Also, you know, those two teams have been dragged in their woodlands. Goal 50. So, you know, it's still a long way to go. You know, there's still like 15 games left. So there's still a long way to go. But I think no team can say that they're completely safe yet.
Yeah, definitely. And then just touch on some of the other results. Greenwood, 4-2 win over Jomos. Good result.
Away from home,
yeah away from home. And then FC Houtbay over Matroosfontein, also a good result for them.
Yeah, I think, you know, we're starting to see now, you know, the top 5 or 6, you know, they're getting results every week. They're being very more consistent.
Yeah.
And now you can't afford to drop points in the top 5.
Yeah.
And I think when you look at the log, some teams are in there, but they got games in hand. And I'm always of the opinion, you've got the points on the board, there's log pressure. So a team like Greenwood, who's played more games, they've got the points. So now you've got to get to those points. So the pressure's on you to get the points. They've already got it. So I always, you know, you've always got to look at games in hand, but there's no guarantees in games in hand.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, then looking at the fixtures, like we said, double headers. And as we are accustomed to in the 3rd division, it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. all week. So yeah, have a look at the website there, www.thefourthmoment.co.za, for all the fixtures. We try to keep it as updated as possible. But just touching on some of the fixtures, Andrew, you want to pick out anything that shouts at you?
Yeah, I thought Sunday, you know, Sunday afternoons, you know, after you've had your Sunday lunch and you want to go watch a nice game, there's a big game at Malta Park, 2 p.m, Cape Town City versus Silver Spurs. That'll be a nice game to go watch. You know, both teams play nice football. Cape Town City at home, tough to beat. Silver Spurs, you know, they've got a couple of games in hand to try and get to the top of the table. So both teams are going to go out for a win. I think Greenwood Friday night, Solo Street, 8:30 kickoff against Invincible Cravenby. You know, Invincible Cravenby need points. Greenwood need to keep the momentum going. So there's some, and that's, like I said, the big 6-pointer game for the weekend, I think, is Woodlands versus Ocean View. I think we're getting to that stage now where Woodlands, if they lose, they're in deep, deep trouble. I mean, we're already saying they're in trouble, but they could be in deep, deep trouble because Ocean View will be right there. You know, Trinitarians versus Saxons, sort of almost a local derby type thing. I think that'll also be tough for Trinis. But yeah, listen, every game, you know, Vasco playing Premier. At Vasco Para Park, Saturday, 3 p.m, more goals. Both teams like to score. So listen, every 3rd division game is nice. And of course, we can't discard Junction. You know, they're playing Friday night, NY 116 against Cape Moyo, JL Zwane. So it's going to be tough.
Yeah, so that's basically all the fixtures there. Like I said, go to the website. We've got games during the week also, next week, Monday and Tuesday. The other game that I saw that shouted out to me was the City versus Vasco game. That's also going to be...
Yeah, that'll be next week, Wednesday. Yeah, it'll be a nice game.
Yeah. Okay, let's jump to the log there for the 3rd division. Greenwood still top of the log, 43 points. A bit of a gap there. I think this might be one of the biggest gaps we've had so far in the season. 4 points. Sort of a gap between 1st and 2nd. Trinis there now on the same amount of games, 39 points. So Trinis are now behind by 4 points, which is, like we said, the way this season has gone, it's actually quite a few points. Silver Spurs now 2 games in hand, 18 games played with 37 points. So they look better on a better, like we said earlier on. Then Junction also 18 games, 37 points, and then Vasco 18 games and 35 points. That's the top 5.
Yeah, so and those games in hand will be played over the next 2 weeks. So in about 2 weeks' time, we'll have a good idea of where the log is going. But like I said, Greenwood, if Greenwood carry on winning the next couple of games, going to put a lot of pressure.
And what a season for Greenwood, from having a good start to going into a slump and now coming back. So this is part of the sort of the up.
Listen,
they keep the momentum going there.
The 3rd division. I mean, the 3rd division is tough. I mean, when we were in there, there's always a point in the season where you go through a slump. Teams can't perform for 34 games at the same optimum level. You have injuries, you have suspensions, you have, when the guys, you know, too many games in a week. And I think Greenwood had that. They lost 4 out of 6 and mostly away from home. But now they started building momentum again. So, you know, after the transfer window also helps. You get new fresh faces in. So, listen, they got 14 games left. They know that if they win the majority of those games, they've got a very good chance.
And then looking at the bottom part of the log, and first time we can say, I think Ocean View off the bottom of the log, they're holding the rest of the log up, which is great news for OV. But now, New Boys Invincible, bottom of the log now with 12 points, 18 spot, 17 spot is Ocean View with 14 points. And then, like we said earlier on, Milano now being dragged into that bottom But bottom 4 there, 17 points with 20 matches played. And the Cape Moyo Jails Wani, 17 points also. So
and Woodlands on 18.
Woodlands on 18, 14th spot, yeah.
And then there's a gap between Woodlands and Goal 50 of 3 points.
Yeah.
So
Goal 50 is on that down at the moment because they've also
they have.
Yeah.
And the Goal 50's game in hand is against Junction in the derby. So derbies can go either way. So
that's taking place this week coming.
Yeah, this week coming, catching up. I think it's on Monday night.
Yeah.
Sorry, on Sunday afternoon, 3 o'clock.
Okay.
So listen, I think the next couple of weeks we'll have a good idea of the bottom and the top, but some teams need to start picking up points.
Yeah. Yeah, that's sort of it for the leagues, Andrew. Quick show today again. Quickly touch on some tournaments. We know about the Mornay Barnes Memorial taking place this weekend at Reigate, I think. Obviously, if you're playing, you already know the format. Points being awarded to teams on how they end up and so on. Yeah, so correct. Yeah, quite a different way of playing and awarding the winners of the tournament. But yeah, something nice to see, something different. So I want to say good luck to the LOC there of the event.
Yeah, listen, I think at junior football level, it's always nice to see tournaments have different formats. So it's more points based on participation as well as results, which is great. Because some teams, they just come to have fun and to build development and all that. So you can't just judge a team on results. Yeah. So it's also very nice to go out there and let the kids have fun. That's the most point. I think, the legacy that, Mornay Barnes, on the top administrators we've had at Safa Cape Town, top person as well, linked to Jamestown, his whole family for years and years and years. Yeah. I think it'll be nice for people to go out there and support the tournament and look how the young people embrace the tournament and leave his legacy in a good place.
Yeah, I'm very glad something is being done for the late Mornay Barnes. I think I can remember when we started out about 11 years ago. Mornay was one of the guys that helped us with the fourth moment. So yeah, that's just the type of person he was, and I hope the tournament is sort of a good remembrance for the late administrator there. And then also Strandfontein Seagulls tournament taking place the weekend. Yeah,
that's a lot. There's girls and boys this weekend. Should be very, very good.
Yeah, and then obviously we've got we in bail season coming to Easter. A couple of weeks to go. We've got the draw taking place on Wednesday, and also then what we've heard from the Premier Cup LOC is that obviously we all know that the finals is going to be taking place at Pequeno Stadium on the 10th. So what they've done is they've opened up massed or bulk ticket sales for any club that wants to buy a minimum of 100 tickets for their club, selling at a retail price of 50 Rand. There's a rebate back for those clubs. So basically, if a Nova Park's not in the tournament, you want your club to go and help fill the stadium, you buy 100 tickets and then you'll get a rebate back on your $50. So your club makes money, we fill the stadium, everybody goes and enjoys the finals.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, and I think it's the finals will be taking place at Pequeno Stadium.
That'll be brilliant. Let's go fill up Athlone. Those boys deserve that.
Yeah, and then also for more information, I think it's ticketing at premiercup.co.za, or if you don't get any luck there, just inbox us and we'll set you on to the LOC, or go to the Premier Cup Facebook page and just message them. To get more information on that. Andrew, I think we're done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice show.
Good. Nice and quick. Guys, we'll see you next time.
Cheers.